Hello, Mrs. Lester. I see you just popped up. Not Miss
Uh,
Lester, Mrs. Lester.
Hi.
Hi,
Hi,
how are you?
Tracy.
Hi.
It's so good to see all of you here. I'm
Yeah,
so happy that I actually have Sarah's actually in the house, in my house
yes.
today,
Yeah.
which is
Ah,
great. It's hard for me not to be down there hugging her. But
I was
anyway,
I was getting
thank
her to
you.
say, don't let her leave. Don't let her leave. She's still your baby. Don't let her
I
leave.
know.
You got that. You have that right. You have the right.
It's good to see you all. Thanks for being here.
Yeah. Okay, so back to now that it's recording, just some background on our bones. So our bones are constantly being remodeled each day. So I think you get a new skeleton every few years, basically, which is really interesting. And when you are young, bone building occurs at a higher rate than bone breakdown. And then once you reach about age 30, bone density peaks. And then the bone breakdown starts to occur higher than the bone building. And then bone mass declines about 1% per year after age 40. And bones store our body's minerals, so like calcium and phosphorus, and then they also create our red blood cells. So if we do have any issues with our bones, it can sometimes lead us to be anemic. So other than just our bones, protecting our organs and obviously allowing us to move through life, there's other really important functions to our bones. And so bone health is a mixture of a few different things. So diet is really important for our bone health. It's really important to be getting enough calcium, vitamin D, and magnesium. And then also vitamin K is very important as well. People who smoke tend to have lower bone density. And also if you drink excessively, you tend to have lower bone density. Um, the more physically active you are, the better your bone health. And then things you can't change, family history. If you have a family history of osteoporosis or low bone density, that's just you might be more prone to that. Race, usually white and sex. So usually white women and Asian women have the highest rates of osteoporosis and low bone density. So osteoporosis is when your body makes too little bone or loses too much bone. So I just included a photo that I thought was really good at showing the progression of osteoporosis. So you can see the normal bone, it looks very strong and healthy. And then as you move through osteoporosis, you just lose all of that bone density. Um, 10 million Americans currently have osteoporosis, and another 44 million have low bone density. And the breakdown of the 10 million, it's 2 million American men and 8 million American women. So you can see that women just have a lot higher rates of osteoporosis. And it can occur at any age, but really the risk increases as you get older. For women, it's usually around menopause or postmenopause when osteoporosis rates really start to increase. It's considered a silent disease because there are no symptoms until you break a bone. So you wouldn't know you had osteoporosis until you accidentally slipped and fell and broke something. Osteoporosis is preventable and very treatable. So going into how diet impacts bone health, calcium is very important. 99% of the calcium stored in our body is in our teeth and our bones, and this is the mineral that makes our bones hard. Sources include all dairy, so yogurt, milk, cheese are great sources of calcium. Sardines, beans and lentils, almonds, leafy greens, and then also soy products as well. Vitamin D actually allows calcium to be absorbed into the body, and so it's important to take these together. Sources, sunlight is a great source of vitamin D. Also, fortified foods, fortified milk, fortified juice, cereals, fatty fish, egg yolk, and beef liver. Unfortunately, there isn't a lot of great dietary sources of vitamin D. So if you live in an area where you don't get a lot of sun, you might want to supplement. I think most Americans are vitamin D deficient just because we stay inside all day long. And then magnesium, which increases absorption of calcium as well. And sources include whole grains, leafy greens, nuts, seeds, beans, and then soy products like tempeh and tofu. So just very important to have these vitamins and minerals in your diet for your bone health. Now we're kind of moving into the wellness theme, which is physical activity. Weight-bearing exercise is super important for bone health because weight-bearing exercise actually pushes on your bones, and this triggers the bone-forming cells. So it's going to slow down that bone loss that we naturally have, and it actually has been shown to build new bone as well. And if you are participating in weight-bearing exercise, you're going to be enhancing your balance, your strength, and your stability. So you're less likely to fall just because you do have that core strength and that confidence from weight-bearing exercise. Examples of weight-bearing exercise include running, walking, weightlifting, hiking, anything that you do with your body weight, like calisthenics, like push-ups, lunges, and squats, tennis or pickleball, jumping rope, basketball, yoga, really any sport where you're just you're moving around on the ground and you're putting stress on your body, because that is what's going to kind of trigger the bone forming cells to keep forming bone. So examples of non-weight bearing exercise include swimming and cycling, but obviously we shouldn't discredit these exercises. They're wonderful for your heart and for your cardiovascular health, but they just will not help build bone. They will help build muscle as well. So it's important to have a balance of these two types of exercises into your routine for sure. And the frequency of weight-bearing exercise, it's never too late to build bone health. I know if you're past 30, you're thinking, oh, my bone health has already peaked. But you can continue to build bone up until you're much older. And the University of Michigan found that as little as 15 to 20 minutes of weight-bearing exercise 3 days a week was sufficient for building bone. But ideally, you would participate in more than that, since weight-bearing exercise includes walking. So ideally, it would be more like 30 minutes per day, just because there are so many different ways you can get in that weight-bearing exercise. And so the October Wellness Challenge was to participate in weight-bearing exercise 2 times a week. I know that the month is almost over, so I'm sorry I couldn't present this to you earlier. But if you did, walk 2 times a week or anything like that, then you can just report to me, and then I can give you the points for this month. And that was it. It was a short and sweet presentation. Does anybody have any questions for me? All right.
Thank you, Sarah.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. And I'll stop this recording. But yeah, so if anyone has